The three channels of the subtle system. Shri Mataji, founder of Sahaja Yoga meditation, describes the qualities of the three energy channels of our subtle system, which are the central channel, the path for the Kundalini, and the left and right channels, and how balance between them affects our emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual well being. You have to know that you all have been seekers before.
You have to know that you all have been seekers before. This is not the first time you have been seeking. So already you have reached a certain state where you feel and you are aware that something more has to happen to you. You are already ready for that. Some of you have really taken birth in this time just for this. So because I do not want to talk of your past is over now. We have to think of the present. One has to know that all of you get realization. Some people have certain problems on their different centers, as I told you. Different type of problems people have. Because of these problems, the Kundalini goes back to its attention, because Kundalini has to look after your problems. She's your mother. So she goes there, attends to that problem, and again she rises. But only thing you have to learn how to make her rise, how to cooperate with her, how to understand your own problem and give additional help to solve the problem. Now you will be amazed that you just get rid of your false identifications with yourself. You become absolutely detached from that, because you start talking in the language of chakras and centers. You start saying that this center is bad, that center is bad, this is not all right, mother, that's wrong with me, that is wrong with me. That's all. You don't say I'm cancer, you don't say I'm mad, you don't say I'm egoistical. You just say, mother, this center is not all right, that center is not all right. Depending on the quality of your centers, the chakras, as they are the ones who really are the channels for the energy of God to flow in. Regarding them, you have to be careful. How your chakras are. Are you clean or not? Some of you will find cool breeze flowing all right in the hand. But maybe one chakra is scratchy. On one chakra you will feel the heat, or you may feel the numbness. You might feel also a kind of a you can say a kind of a tingling on certain fingers. Now wherever there is tingling, you must know there is a kind of a struggle going on between those chakras and the Kundalini. So you should just try to help your chakras to awaken them. And also must know that every one of you are part and parcel of the whole. You are awakened. You are awakened to that part. And so you have to be more careful. Because if you suffer from some chakra, I can feel it. But if others, those who are not realized, I don't feel it at all. I'm not bothered. There can be any number of devils or anything, it doesn't matter to me. But if you people who are realized souls have a slight problem, immediately I know that you have this problem, my attention is diverted to that. So you must understand that the attention is all the time there to look after you, to give you a better guidance. Your spirit is all the time working. But you must learn how to take the guidance from your spirit. That's the main point. So nobody is lower or higher, as he said. I've seen some people who were declared as drunkards, this, that, overnight they are finished. They are perfect people. Not only, but very good Sahaja Yogis. So, you see, all these clouds have come on the sky of your being in this lifetime, doesn't matter. Makes no difference. But your past is great. That's shown. So you don't have to worry as to how far aware you are. There's no degree or anything to measure it. You must be all aware already, otherwise you would not come to me, first of all. And to get realization itself is a very big thing. Now there is a very good seeker I know of who came to me, and he got his realization, but he did not feel it on his hand. Because he has a very bad Vishuddhi here. And with a bad Vishuddhi chakra, you may not feel it in your hand, it doesn't matter. But you will feel peaceful, you will feel joyful, and you can feel it on your top of your head, or others can feel it. Gradually your fingers will start improving, and they will give you better results. For example, people who do hard work with their hands, also their fingers can be numbed. So we have to use certain methods like looking after our hands. This body now is a temple of God. So we have to look after it in a way respectfully. Not for the way the prostitutes, when they want to sell their body, they look after their body. No, but with respect to our body. We have to look after ourselves in a way that we should keep good health. And to keep good health in Sahaja Yoga, there are 1001 things which you have to know, which is very easy to understand and which will be told to you for no price at all, nothing. It is the divine that is anxious, that you should get it, that you should settle down, that you should enjoy it. So you don't have to be so anxious about it. These anxieties must be given up. Just try to understand your centers. Now many of you did feel the cool breeze, but maybe after some time you may lose it, doesn't matter. You'll go up and down like that, doesn't matter. It does not mean that you have lost it, not at all. Now supposing you try a method, a simple method, that you first put your left hand towards my photograph. Just now you can try. And right hand on the Mother Earth. Let's see. Right hand on the Mother Earth. That's why I wanted to have it in the open, but doesn't matter now. If rain is good for you, for the farmers, let's have it. So now put your left hand like this, and right hand, those who are not sitting can put up like that. Like this. Back. Yes. Right hand like this. Right. Not left, right hand. Right.
On the ground. No, like this.
Backwards. Yes. Right hand. Now what we are doing, the left hand side power is the emotional power. Now if you have an emotional problem, say somebody has been taking drugs, is a left-sided person. Some drugs are LSD and all that right-sided, but most of the drugs take you to the left side. Gurus are left-sided problem. Most of these problems or mental problems are left-sided problems. But the problem of the intellectuals is right-sided. Futuristic people is right-sided. People who are running the rat race are right-sided. See, that kind of overactivity, that kind of thing. On the contrary, those who have taken to drugs are left-sided. And the other ones, the one who have a lethargic heart, are the people who are left-sided, who are very much conditioned, who are worried about the past, who live with their ideas of sufferings. But once the spirit is awakened within you, it looks after you. It takes over, and you become a person who is guided by your spirit, which is absolute. And that's why it explains why in religion there are so many complications. Whatever you want to decide through your ego, through your mental projection, is linear. It moves in a linear direction and it recoils back. That's why you have seen all human enterprises have ended up into trouble. We tried with science, we become the creators of atom bomb which destroys us. We try with anything, even with emotional side we start. What we find, we get bound to it, get miseries and troubles in our emotional endeavors also. So, one reaches a point where one realizes that we have not reached that completion, that epitome, that higher state, where we become knowledgeable to the absolute knowledge of everything. At a human level, we know so many things at absolute level. Like we know this is a wood, a dog may not know about it. We know about this, but we do not know whether this wood has been touched by some saint or not. We are not sure about it. We cannot say that, is this a holy wood? or not? We cannot make it out. Somebody might say, this is the one who was touched by somebody. Somebody might say, no, how can you say that? There's no way of deciding what is the truth because you are not at the state of absolute. All your theories that are prevalent, like we say capitalism, communism, all these isms that we talk of, are also relative. For example, if I say, I am the greatest capitalist, supposing I have all the powers, then I am the greatest capitalist. But I am the greatest communist because I cannot live with them. I have to share with all of you. I have to move about. I have to travel and travel and travel, that I should share with all of you. I cannot enjoy it alone. So I am the greatest communist as well. All the theories that we have in our minds have come out of the unconscious to create that gross part of it. Like people talk of United Nations. United Nations seems to be a myth if you face it. You can't understand this kind of a United Nations where everybody is pulling each other's legs. There's a problem on how many jobs should be given to whom, how much pay, and everything dealing on very gross levels. But you see that when you become a realized soul, there are 14 nations now were represented in India. And all of them, if you had seen, very happy people, extremely joyous, such friendship, such enjoyment, and a little bit of fun, of ragging each other sometimes, pulling each other's legs, and then again enjoying and mirth. Real enjoyment. No quarreling, no fighting, no question of race, nothing of the kind. This kind of the new race has to be evolved out of the people. So this is what happens to you, that you reach the state of absolute. So there cannot be cults in Sahaja Yoga, there cannot be a division of ideas, there cannot be any interpretation, because it is so much within you. Now the subjective and objective, we call it in a very funny way. For us, objective is whatever is gross outside, and subjective is something arbitrary. But once you become a realized soul, you become really the subjective. You really become the subjective in the sense your subject acts, but which is an absolute subject. So everybody has that absolute within themselves. Self is the universal being within yourself. Is the universal being, and that is in everyone. It relates to the same. It's an universal truth. So you cannot have two opinions about it. There's no question of having opinions, because it is so, it's a fact. And whatever is the fact that you accept, so the spirit is the truth. There's no other way to find out the truth. Anything you want to find out, you have to find out through your vibrations, which is the blessing of your self-realization. Without self-realization, there is diversity. You find people are so diverse. They are contradictory. They fight each other. They have such problems that have no solutions. They live like parallel lines where they never meet. But suddenly you find all these parallel lines meet at the South Pole or the North Pole in the same way. They meet at the same point, what we call the spirit. At that time, you have no problems solving your problems, because there is no problem left. You are beyond it. The left-hand side that we do, physically what happens to people who are futurists? We have a center, especially for futuristic behavior, called as Swadhisthana Chakra, which is in the gross manifesting the plexus called the aortic plexus within us. Now this Swadhisthana Chakra is very important for human beings, especially for people who are developed people. With this chakra, actually, we convert the fat of the stomach for the use of the brain. Now this is the center of the Surya, of the sun. Now when we start thinking, these cells are converted in such a way that they become useful to the brain. Now, if you are thinking all the time you are thinking, then what will happen? I mean, the horns are not going to grow out of that. You are consuming all that. And when you are consuming all those cells, you have to have replacement, And for that replacement, this Swadhisthana chakra has to work very hard to convert the cells for the use of your brain. Now, when it is doing that, there are other things which this Swadhisthana chakra has to look after. For example, your liver, your pancreas, your spleen, your kidneys, all are to be looked after by this center, and also uterus for the ladies. Now, when there's only one work is given to this Swadhisthana chakra, and it cannot do any other work, then other things are neglected, so you develop a terrible disease called liver trouble. Now, liver trouble is another thing that you do not feel yourself. Others know that you are liverish, the way you are hot-tempered, the way you are fussy, the way you always snarl at people, and the way you are never satisfied with anything, the way you criticize others. All this is liverish, and such liverish people are never happy with themselves, because liver looks after their attention. And those who have liver problems, their attention is horrid. That goes like this. See, you cannot keep your attention straight. On the street, you will walk straight into a car because you are looking at something which you are not supposed to look. But all the time you are looking at like this. You cannot walk. I mean, you won't find any animal like that who walks like this. But only human beings do it. If you see them on the street, you'll be amazed. Where are they walking? They don't walk straight. They don't walk straight. But their eyes are going this way, that way, because the attention is wobbly. The attention is wobbly because of a bad liver. So this liver is a very, very important thing. Now this liver has a special capacity to extract all the poisons from the body as heat. And the heat in the body is to be transformed or should be conveyed to the blood or the water in the blood. And that has to be taken out of your body, maybe as perspiration or in another forms. But what happens? That when this liver is out of gear, it cannot do it. It cannot pass this heat into the bloodstream, and the heat remains in the body, and you really become heated. And that heat makes all these problems for you. So, in Sahaja Yoga, what happens that when Kundalini rises, she changes the form of the blood. The hydrogen and oxygen which are placed because of this heat and all that, in a very funny way, like this, like that, and they start receiving this heat within them. That's why those people who have bad livers feel little heat when the Kundalini rises. But one can cure it by giving it that peace and comfort to that liver organ, and you can definitely cure your liver, no doubt about it. Then the second thing that happens to you is the pancreas, which gives you diabetes. Only a person who thinks too much gets diabetes. For example, an Indian farmer doesn't know what diabetes is, but then you stop your sugar. But that's not the way to stop your diabetes. Diabetes comes to you because you think too much. The doctors won't understand this. That's why they say it is incurable. But because they cannot connect thinking with the disease. And this is what happens when you are all the time thinking like mad, then diabetes takes place. And this diabetes is also curable if you get your enlightenment. You can cure also the diabetes of other people, but because this vital power, which is integrated of all these three powers, flows through you, and you can replenish, you can give more to other people who are exhausted of it, and sort of you can fill them up with this power, and you can cure. The third one is the worst of all that happens to people, is blood cancer, because of spleen. Spleen is one thing very important, that it is the center of peace within us. The one who doesn't have a proper spleen cannot be a peaceful person. Now, it's a very simple thing, but doctors cannot connect it, nor all science-oriented people can connect it to something very, very simple. And the simple thing is that when we eat our food, if we are frantic, we are out to get trouble with the spleen, and we can get blood cancer. Now, if the mother is of that temperament or a father is of that temperament, the children might be born with blood cancer. Now, we will be happy to tell you that in New York, we had a case of blood cancer. And when I was in India, in a village, somebody came and told me that such and such boy is sick He's only 16 years with blood cancer, and doctors have declared that he's going to die within 2 weeks' time. They always declare, they are good at declaration only. And when this case came to me, I told them that I cannot do anything, I'm in a village, but you can telephone to one of the Sahaja Yoginis. She was in England, now she's in New York, and she will look after this case. You'll be amazed that the boy was cured completely. He came out of the hospital, he came to see me, and now he's gone back to his studies. I mean, like this we have cured many cases of blood cancer. But here we are not to cure people by any or healing anyone. That's not our job. It happens spontaneously as a byproduct of the Kundalini awakening. Main thing is we have to make you doctors. We have to make you knowledgeable people. We have to make you collectively conscious human beings who have to enter into the kingdom of God to reside there in His peace, bliss and joy. Now this trouble also of kidney, of high blood pressure, all that is due to this. People worry, they are frantic, you see, and this franticness comes to us just as a matter of habit. I have known people, as soon as you say, oh, you have to go by aeroplane or somewhere, suddenly the aeroplane word triggers that frantic, oh, they get mad. They don't know what they are up to. They will forget their passport, they will forget their luggage, they will forget this, they are frantic. At the airport if you go, you'll find this left navi, as we call it, this center is, the spleen goes frantic. Now, when you eat your food or do any such work, there is an emergency created and more blood is needed to digest that food. So this spleen, poor thing, works very hard to create that extra amount of blood cells. But at the time you are eating, you are also reading a newspaper. That's the worst thing one should do in the morning. Horrible. You read the newspaper, you are eating the food, the spleen goes off because another emergency comes up. Then you get onto your bicycle with a sandwich in the hand. It's even worse than that. And you are rushing to your work, suddenly you find a big jam on the way, then you are even very badly placed with the situation and you get so frantic and you don't understand. And the person who is in front of you goes on saying, oh, what's wrong with this fellow? Why can't he drive fast? And the same fellow is saying something exactly the same to the another fellow who is going ahead. So this mad race is on, this rat race is on, and if you are eating your food in such a hurry and in such franticness, you develop this trouble which is very dangerous, called as blood cancer, and among young people is very common. Now, the last and not the least is the trouble of the heart. When you pay too much attention to all these outward things, to material things, to your all material advancement, to your physical advancement, and to so much of computerization of your brain, then you neglect the necessary attention to your spirit, which resides in your heart. And so the spirit recedes. And when the spirit receives, you get a heart attack. Only a person who is right-sided gets a heart attack, and never a person who is a left-sided. I told this to a doctor, and he told surprisingly that in a mental hospital, we never need a cardiogram. We do not need it. They never get a heart attack. A mad man never gets a heart attack. Surprisingly, a person who is mad is using his heart, his left side, his emotions, and his heart should go out. But no, his brain goes out. Can you imagine? And the one who uses the brain, his heart goes out. This is the balance created by nature in us. See how cleverly the nature is trying to guide us in the center. Don't go to the extremes. Keep to the center. Keep to the center. And then when you are absolutely in the center, then you get your evolution very quickly. So this is the right side that we have, the futuristic side, and as you know, we are all very futuristic by temperament.